Yo, what's up legends, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are going to jump into the project of my new track Body and Mind, which is out now on Revealed Recordings. A little bit different from what you usually hear from me, but as you know, I've been dabbling with the techie kind of side of things right now for a while. This one is really built for the clubs. Since I was starting to play a lot more again when things opened up, I needed some more clubby music as well as like the real hard stuff. You know, if you've been through one of my sets, you know I like to really mix it up and try and play as much of my own music as possible. So it's good for me to have these slower, groovier tracks as well, just when you're warming up. And in the beginning of a set, you don't want to just open up with like raw style, right? Unless you're a raw style artist. So I like to be diverse, and that's why I'm making some tracks like this. Did a couple of collabs with Hardwell as well, which are a little bit more groovy, a little bit slower, but still have that real big power to them. So before we jump into the Body and Mind project, I want to basically catch you guys up on everything that's going on. October is going to be a crazy busy month. I'm going to try and get some videos sorted for that in advance. I'm going back to Asia, which is amazing. It's been so many years since Corona kind of stopped us from going there. Also got ADE as well. And a lot of other stuff to do in October, including my birthday. So if you want to say happy birthday to me on the 6th of October, that would make my heart be very warm. In terms of Patreon, you guys are going absolutely crazy right now. The support is just constantly growing, and I respect you all so much. You make this fun for me, basically. The sample pack, which will be coming out in 2 weeks time, is going to be this one, Body and Mind. So if you like a techie big room stuff, you need to get this pack. Go and get the Rave box one that is there right now. Obviously sample packs only last for 30 days, so make sure you go and grab it now, because when it's gone, it's gone. And also finally, Rave Ready samples. I think we've already passed 100 sales right now, which is crazy. I didn't think it would blow up so fast. Making my own website, making my own brand, it's been a lot of work, but it's really rewarding. It really seems like these project templates and these MIDI files are really helping you. The latest one, called Control, is inspired by Hardwell, and it sounds a bit like this. So there you have it. That is the Control project template, which is available right now. If you're an Ableton or Logic user, FL Studio trial is free, and I think you can save stuff now, so you could literally go in, edit it, and bounce stuff out completely without even buying FL Studio. So if that's something that interests you, please hit the links in my description. Without further ado, this is what Body and Mind sounds like. That's drop one anyway. Drop one, I wanted to go a little bit more stripped back, and like with one of those drops that kind of catches you off guard, like The Age of Rave, for example. I love doing those kind of drops. The ones that catch you off guard and you're like, oh damn, like it's heavy, but it's also a little bit groovy as well. So let's jump into drop one. We'll go into the breakdown, and also drop two a little bit later. Drop two is a little bit more high energy. As I said, drop one is really about catching the listener off guard. We tease that melody.
The space between my body and mind.
And then goes completely, almost silent, you know, like the energy's super high and the energy comes to really low, but it provides more groove than energy. So if we look at the kick and bass line is this one. So the actual loop itself, so what I'm going to do here is just attach it to its own mixer track. So this is what the loop sounded like with no processing whatsoever. Little bit side trance there. I did not want that top. I wanted the that kind of like wobble sound in it, because I haven't heard a bass line like this in a drop. This drop was really the one that really impressed me the most. It's kind of side trance, kind of techie, but it's got that wobble to it, like that old school kind of bass house wobble. So what I did was let's see what I did. So what I did was I added a Pro Q3, which just got rid of that top, basically. That didn't want that at all. Then what I did was boosted the sub frequencies and also a little bit of the mids as well. Let's not talk about the high boost there. I obviously had my reasons. But the low end boost really was because this is providing the sub bass for the drop. I don't have another sub bass there, so I need to make the most out of this sub bass. I need to get the most out of it. Hardwell did a great job on the master as well, so this version won't be as fat as his version. He masters with a lot of analog stuff. It's crazy always. Sidechain is quite tight actually. 89% on the nice and tight preset, and then finally it's another boost on that low end just to get as much low end as possible. With the kick, just super clean and super, it's not super in your face, but it's really clean and also has that real powerful groove to it. So this one just works really well. On the kick drum, what we have is a lot of EQ actually. A boost, 1500 hertz, boost at 5k just to get that click. Do we do a boost on the lows? Yeah, we do a boost at 100 hertz always on my kick drums because I really want that thump to be as big as possible. And the other EQs are just for the intro, so they're not really too relevant. So the kick and the bass line already sounds pretty cool, right? We also add a top kick. Which doesn't really provide too much click, but it provides a little bit more width to the kick drum itself. It's a very small kick, so I wanted to kind of give it a little bit more width and depth almost. Let's see what else, because it's been a while since I won this project. I think that's it in terms of the fundamentals. We do then go on to the drop lead. Now this drop lead is a bit of a secret weapon of mine, but it's not going to be much longer. So this is a sound from good old hardstyle pack on Nexus, and it's called the Anthem. So this shot, I just love this shot. It was a bit boring when you heard it there, so what I did was quite a lot of EQs. One of them being the D-Blue glitch. Now, if I can find the D-Blue glitch settings, here it is, you will see some automations happen. So basically this setting within D-Blue glitch, I used this a lot on like when I did a track called Aruna and things like that. I wanted the bass line to sound quite metallic, so I added this really short delay on it. And this glitch delay is just amazing. I love it so much. I kept it off in the beginning. As you can see, the mix is pretty much 0. And I bring the mix up so that this shot can change throughout. Because as you know, we've just drawn a MIDI, which is that's it. A lot of people will just have that in their tracks. A lot of people. But I'm trying to think outside the box, so I'm trying to create movement with plugins. So I'm making it sound more delayed and like and it kind of stutters off into the distance. I also increased the size of the delay as well. A very short delay is going to make it sound metallic. A long delay is going to be like so that's what I wanted to do there. In addition to that, I believe we do have some reverb automation as well. So the reverb automation, I was old school back then. I used to do it with Endless Smile. Obviously nowadays I'm doing it with the wet reverb within Art Acoustic. But a lot of the times in the past I would use Endless Smile. If you don't have an Art Acoustic or like Valhalla, if you're just using Fruity Reverb, I would recommend doing your like reverb automations with Endless Smile because it does give a really, really nice clean reverb off. So altogether, the 3 main elements, we also have this automation, which is delay, I believe. So in addition to that, we have the fills. I think I got this one from a future rave pack or something. Really cool. I love the delay on it. I just added the delay just to make it basically tail off forever. I didn't want it to just and then be gone, so I decided to tail it off just to keep that kind of transition smooth. Nice little acid shot as well there. Then we come to the drums. Simple hi-hat, some movement, kind of rolling percussion, I would say. Same again. Groove now when you bring those drums in is just amazing. I got the drums from basically Trance. So it's trancey techno kind of vibes, and yeah, some of the sounds you get in there is crazy. It's really untapped. The EDM guys aren't really touching these sounds. Got a little reverse hat there, if I can get it. Beautiful. What else have we got here? Just various little claps and kind of techno stuff. I really find the techno and tech trance drum loops and effect stuff really works the best. That's the thing that really sets you apart from big room. Using big room sounds, you're just going to sound like a big room track, and it's just not going to sound futuristic at all, right? So I like to kind of delve into other genres for these kind of sounds. And in addition to that, we have this bass stab, which I believe is from Nexus as well. And I think that's it. As you can see, I've got a lot of stuff like grayed out. That means I've just muted it all. I go through a lot of melody changes nowadays. I'm always changing stuff, like different melodies, and instead of deleting them completely, now I've started to mute them by going like this. Because you never know, you might have something really good there. You don't want to just delete it forever. We also added a pluck runner. This one's really cool for the groove. This is also a Nexus sound, which is called Freak. Now, to get this sound, I added some trash, just because I wanted to saturate it a bit. I'm using the saturation a lot nowadays. Some EQ, getting rid of those frequencies. We don't need the bassline. I mean, you know this already. I don't want to insult you, but the bassline in this section is taking up this section, so we don't want to have our samples boosted here or even with any low end there, because it's not going to fit nicely like a glove, is it? We have the transient master because I wanted to make it a bit more tight. It was like I wanted to be really tight and really groovy. The tighter things are, the groovier it is usually. We have a filter just rolling off the highs to make sure right at the end, and we have a sidechain as well. But I love this one. It kind of gives the lead some space as well. You see how the lead fits nicely on top? When the lead comes in, there's not like a crazy like clash of high end. It's like this is the high end and this is kind of the mid, the low mids, this kind of pluck runner. So we have everything in the drop there. I also tease the main drop melody as well, but I think we'll go through that in drop 2. I'll see if I can find it. It's somewhere in here. Yeah, in there. So we'll go through that in the second drop. I also have missed out a few little effects things. Really dope hardstyle sound. You know me, I like to get hardstyle trance, big room, side trance, all these sounds in my tracks to just make it sound fresh. We have the vocal,
The space where I can go deeper.
which we will go into in the breakdown. I'm just trying to find, there's a sick acid shot which I use quite a lot. Here it is, it's in the middle, right? Acid shot. Not going to tell you where this is from because you might recognize it from my track with Hardwell, one of them. It's our secret weapon, you know, but really sick sound. It's not too hard to find if you look in the right places. What I did there was had this shot bounced out, but I had a reverse into it. That makes all the difference. It makes it sound so smooth, and so the transitions are so important in EDM nowadays, and it really helps with the transition. We have an FX shot, which I think is the one you already heard, and that is pretty much it for drop 1. Some white noise that will also go into in drop 2, but that as an intro, or kind of a mid-intro in hardstyle, they have these like simple drops. I kind of wanted to keep that structure as well. So it was a more simple drop, and then drop 2 we go all out. Breakdown, we go straight into that bass shot from the drop. So this is all about trance. So my drop 1 was about techno, tech trance. Breakdown is about basically full on trance. I want that real old school trancey vibe, and then in drop 2 I wanted to go kind of futuristic, future ravey almost. That's the way I keep my tracks fresh, is because I just have so many genres influencing my stuff, and I absolutely love trance. I love trance melodies, trance chords and stuff. So we have those trance elements there, such as these pads, which I just filter up. I'm getting so good at chords, melodies, because of the Patreon sample packs. Like making like how many 10 or 12 midis a month, sorry, like just really helps. And also for Rave Ready, like I made some main stage MIDI pack, 25 midis there. It really helps. So if you are struggling with writing melodies and chords and stuff, keep practicing it. I guarantee if you make 10 melodies a week, in 1 year's time, those 10 melodies will be so much better than the ones you did last year. Guaranteed. Or your money back. So we have the pads there getting filtered up gently. It's just kind of introduced slowly. We have some tension strings, like a house sound. And this breakdown was massively influenced by Robert Miles' Children. I actually had the Children ding, 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 ding. And then I thought, this is stupid, it's a waste of time, I'm never going to get this cleared. So I did change it. It's meant to be really like a homage to that track and that vibe. It's emotional, but it also works in the club. So in that first section, it's all about pads and emptiness. We have some sounds like this. Creating more of that trancey vibe. A lot of stuff that I got rid of. As I said before, it's really nice to keep that stuff just in case you need it. We have the sub bass as well, which doesn't seem to be turned on. There it is. So what I did there was I didn't want the sub bass to be in straight away. So basically I let more and more low end in slowly. So we're just going to take a look at the mixer track now. So it's number 24. We're just going to zip straight there. 24. So you'll see on this EQ, I start with no low end in the sub bass. You might be thinking, what's the point? But it just creeps in slowly. And I just really loved the way that felt. That was just really, really nice the way it creeps in. Because we're listening to the vocal. So when this thing comes in slowly, it's nice. It doesn't just catch you off like completely like, oh, that just came in randomly. But we go on to the main part of the breakdown, the vocals. This kind of gives the track a theme.
The space where I can go deeper. My natural state of allowing. I don't need anything when I'm here, because it feels like home.
Beautiful the way that bass just comes in. So this vocal is, sorry, a vocal from Splice. There's lots of little vocals here. Basically, I went through this pack. There was a lot of cringy stuff. This one's borderline cringy. I might have overstepped the mark. I don't like to use too cringy vocals, right? But vocals like this really give a theme to the track. And I just went through and I picked all the phrases I liked and tried to put them together in like basically a normal sentence.
space where I can go deeper. My natural state of allowing. I don't need anything when I'm here, because it feels like home. I don't need anything.
So these two were together, but the first two, the being one and then this go deeper one, were two separate phrases. So I kind of had to put them together in a sentence that made sense. And I also did some reverses. These are so important. That basically sweeps into the vocal and just makes it sound more smooth with the transition. Now, what I did there was in Edison, I basically loaded in the vocal and then I hit reverb here, click accept, and then I went to tools and then clicked reverse. And then once you clicked reverse, all you need to do is drag this into there like that, and you will have the reverse. And it's annoying you have to do for every single word, but it really sounds really cool.
The space where I can go deeper. My natural state of allowing. I don't need anything when I'm here, because it feels like home.
So that is literally just a pad and a vocal and a bass line and this little high string. There's really nothing else to it. If you can just get the right frequencies, like with this pad and the sub bass, we're really filling all the frequencies we need. We have the vocals on there, or given the tops, and it provides like enough atmosphere and fullness. But we can't do this in the second section. We can't just continue this forever because we need something else introduced. We've lost the vocal. I'm not going to use that vocal again and again and again. It's not long enough. There's not enough. It would just be repetitive. So this is where I brought in the children piano. This is, if you listen to a lot of my other tracks, you'll know I like to go for this kind of vibe in the break, really emotional. We went for the bass shots, so from the drop, the big boom, this kind of Bram thing, we want to do that in the break as well, just to pick up the energy a little bit. We have this pluck as well. So that's just there to provide a little bit more of that trance sound. You know, I want to really drive home that this is a trance influence, techno influence, big room, whatever you want to call it, track. So that's why I added that pluck in, and also provides a little bit more rhythm. You know, it's kind of galloping a little bit. So the track really progresses in energy. It really does. Starts off quite simple. Breakdown even starts really stripped. We build momentum, and then the drop two is where all the energy comes out and goes crazy. I wanted to have the vocal back in there.
Body and mind.
I wanted to have body, mind, body, but it says body and, so I couldn't really like cut it out fully. But that's what works so well with the filter.
Body and mind. Body and mind.
That's if I can find the filter. I do filter it up slowly throughout here. There it is. And as you can see, the same way I did to the lead, I added a deep blue glitch doing the exact same thing. That really like mid-sized delay, so it kind of sounds like it's rattling a little bit, and it sounds really, really cool.
Body and mind.
Now, this section, we really need to we can't pick up the energy even more because the drop isn't going to have that. It's not going to be as big. So if we just keep this energy and build up, I wanted to kill the energy a little bit. So the piano is a Nexus Classic. This is Black Hole Piano. So as you can see, I've just slammed it a little bit. I've added some overdrive, some EQ there, boosting the highs, some like a long delay because I want it to just keep delaying and delaying and delaying because there's not many notes. It's the. So I want to fill that gap with delay. And that is pretty much it in terms of the sound design. This is, oh, my phone just took a dive there. The Serum bass is one I use all the time. This one's a great one from Splice. This is the Aoki Big Bed bass. And then we get into this build up that we said before. Key things here, keep the same sounds from the break. So I'm going to keep that bass line in there. The bass line just goes from this to that. It just stays on the root note and just stays true throughout. What else have we got? We've got that bass stab. We've also got these trance textures. And then we are teasing the main melody, which is this one here. Not what you can see there. As I said, like I really went through a lot of different melodies here, but that's the melody we're teasing. So it kind of gives an idea of that. Oh, that melody that we heard in the first part is coming back. We have a big ass riser now. I love this riser so much. So what's going on here? We have a pitch which kind of picks up in pitch. It gets higher and higher in the second section of the build-up. We have a filter. I didn't want it to start off full because it's really intense. A lot of frequencies there. So I wanted to kind of introduce it. We also have a reverb increase, an endless smile decrease while the filter goes up. This is a technique I've used for so many years now. We also make this sound go more mono towards the drop. And then finally the LFO changes. So this preset is, I think it's called Showtech Winder FX. And you just automate the LFO and it makes that vroom, 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 and it starts getting faster and faster. You'll be able to hear that now. You hear how it goes fully mono if you've got headphones on? That just allows it to disappear slowly. Like, it's basically backing out of the room and taking the door and just going extremely gentle. Like, they don't want anyone to see them. That's how I want my stuff to disappear. I don't want it to just die off. Like, okay, where's that riser gone? But you don't want it to be in there the full time because this lead needs to be the thing you're focusing on. So you just have it slip out the back door by doing things like this. Remove the low end, remove the high end even, so your EQ looks like this. And it kind of gets more, and so both frequencies are being kind of removed. Or you just make it fully mono and reduce the volume and it'll just disappear slowly. Then we get into the main section. I mean, we've got some risers here. This one's a great one because it's a 16 bar riser. So it goes the whole time in this long ass build up, and it just really keeps that tension going and makes it smooth as well. Another thing I always do is change the stereo separation of the master. So you'll see that this master knob is like stereo mono, right? So what I've done there is I've automated it. So that's going to make the whole track more mono. So we're going like this. We're getting more narrow, narrow, narrow. Then the drop comes fully stereo. That's when the energy really picks up. In addition,